you brought up paid leave earlier. Could you talk a little bit more about that and how a free market...
Brought up what? I'm sorry.
Paid leave.
Yes.
Could you talk a little bit more about that and how a free market capitalist can tackle that conversation?
Sure. Well, I think that the family is the bedrock of any functioning society. I think that it is a disgrace that 77% of black babies in this country are born without a stable father in the home. I think that the number one reason why mothers do not have more than 1 or 2 kids, which is the average birth rate for natural-born Americans, is because of financial reasons. And I don't think we have a capitalist system if you don't have a country. And I also believe that if we do not prioritize the family and family creation in our country, then you're not going to have a country to even have a capitalist system at all. And I actually value the family more than I value... I value family creation and stable families more so than I might value like the maximal profit return. And we spend money on such ridiculous garbage in this country. And there's conservative ways to fund it. You can borrow out of your Social Security fund and be able to do this. And look, it's a provocative view for a conservative to hold. Some people disagree with it. But if we're serious about the civilizational collapse that we're looking at right now, and we want to actually fix some of these problems, and look, we know this through psychological data, we know this, we should want young families to have more children, and we should want mothers to be able to spend those formative years with their newborns. We should want that. So, for example, in the 1980s, it required 35 weeks of work to earn about $75,000 a year. Now it requires 53 weeks of work. What does that mean? It almost forces the woman into the workplace. Now, I'm not diametrically against that if the woman chooses, but I am against it by force. I think it's bad that young women in this country, young mothers, have no other option but to go into the marketplace to keep a middle-class lifestyle going. And so, yeah, that's why I think that if we're serious about the role the family plays in the American society, which we know is the longest-lasting, most important institution to any functioning civilization, then we must make it easier to have children in this country. We also must, I think, support young mothers being with those children, and every single study shows that if a young mother is able to be with a newborn for those 18 months, they're far less likely to go to prison, far less likely to commit suicide, they're less likely to be social isolation. Every metric that we are concerned about comes back to the mother being there with the baby the first 18 to 24 months. And yes, it is a financial obstacle. It is. And so I could defend it from a conservative position and just an American position. How we fund it, how we do it, I don't know. But I think that given the circumstance that we're in, it is the right thing for our country.